Warning. The following may contain dungeons. Join fantasy authors Phil Tucker, Timandra Whitecastle, David Benem, Benedict Patrick, and Josiah Bancroft as they roll dice and take on the bad guys in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. 5 authors, 5 worlds, 1 adventure. It's time to get crit-faced.
Here's a question.
Yes.
Yes. Lord Tarfin has a plan.
I just feel it important upon us. Lord Strahd has laid down an ultimatum. If we are to destroy any more of his kind, he will come for us. Right. I feel like this is a line in the sand which we must now all declare ourselves willing to cross. I do not doubt his ability to come for us, as demonstrated by his fiery equine. But I know that we shall come across more vampires in the near future. And so I ask you all, are you willing to risk a direct confrontation in Strahd if it means that we must continue our ways in killing the vampires as we find them? Or will you now decide you have reached your limit and cavail?
I don't think it's really a choice. I mean, every time we've encountered one of these vampires, isn't like they're like, "Hey, cheerio, how are you? They want to kill us." I mean, so it's kill or be killed, isn't it?
We did go after those sleeping ones. They
had it coming though.
They are creatures of evil. I will not align myself with this man.
Good.
So he will come for us regardless of whether we kill his creatures or not. So I'm saying the more we destroy them, the more the evil is lifted from this cursed place.
When he said that he would change one of our number into a vampire for everyone that we killed of his, does he mean like our immediate circle or all of our friends that we have met along the way? Are we putting others in danger?
Just us, I believe.
And I think we always put people in danger. It's kind of our speciality.
That's very true.
But we also help. So, like, we have this. We have the gemstone. So we're going to take it back to the
winery.
Pie folk. Yeah, I don't know. I've forgotten his name. It's been too long. But
yes, that's like hours ago. Oh,
you mean Davian?
Yes, the Mardikovs.
Yes. So that I think they need more than just the one stone, but at least that's a sign of goodwill, and perhaps they can save some of their produce that way.
They've been existing on the one stone for a short while. They can continue to make wine with just one.
Well, argument made. Do you think they can protect it, or are we just going to deliver it back into the hands of fiends by giving it to this weakling group of characters?
I think you should ask them that in those exact words.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So guys, you've woken up. It's kind of very middle of the nighty. You're atop Yester Hill. What's the plan?
Back to the vineyard?
Yes, I believe so.
In the night? Like, is that a wise idea to traipse through the woods in the night?
We have McRag!
Oh, yes, of course. And his blood spear.
Yes!
But I don't have a flaming horse yet.
Oh, get over it.
We're working on it.
I like the yet. I like the yet, though.
Yes.
The betrayal is imminent. All right, I believe that we have come together in our determination to pursue our quest once more, despite Strahd's rather pathetic attempt at intimidation. Let us cross through the night to the vineyard and deliver our gem, and then continue our quest to find the means to destroy that monster. What say you all? I put my hand out like we could do like a huddle.
Oh, yeah.
Team!
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so just time out. What exactly is like the quest after, so we go back to the winery. We bring the gemstone. Yay! That's one good thing that we're going to do today. So that's good.
We've done many.
But what do we do next? Because obviously the good thing is Irina is probably safe from Strahd wherever she is right now. The bad thing is that we don't know where she is, so we might happen upon her.
I would think we need to go after. There was the other gem that they mentioned. It was in a lost town.
Baba Lysaga.
Yes.
Yeah,
And she's also she had there was a prophecy, part of the prophecy that sort of applied to her in a dragon.
Sword of Sunlight. That's right. A village drowned by a river, and she's in Berez, which is a flooded city. Now, unless Barovia has a lot of these flooded places, which would be very inconvenient for the prophecy, I believe it's the same place. We should deliver the gem, bask in their gratitude for a while, maybe have
their wine.
A tipple, as I was going to say. Good man there, John.
Yes.
Get a little festive, a little release the stress.
A little music.
And then set a course for Berez. And Lord Talfrin turns and looks significantly off towards the horizon.
All right, I think we have our plan. Let's tally-ho.
Okay. So
we're not going to talk about the fact that she was described as the second most powerful after Strahd.
Nope. We're not going to discuss that at all.
Well, we have a blood spear.
Yes, that's true. And we might find the Sword of Sunlight.
And let's face it, we're going to get sidetracked on the way.
Yes. Just because we've set an intention to go to Berez means nothing. It means
nothing.
I often resolve to lose weight, but look at me.
So, are we heading away from Yester Hill, guys?
Yes.
Is there anything left to destroy, or anything? Did we leave any stone unturned in one of the characters?
You could set the wicker Strahd on fire, just like
why?
Symbolic.
We can do.
Why? Why not? Like that's our modus operandi.
I think we have to leave it burning as we walk away from Yester Hill. I think Lord Talfrin just, does a little
over
fireball. Nonchalantly just zoom.
And we walk in slow motion away from the explosion.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I can't argue with style.
Okay, so are we setting fire to the Wicker Man as we do that, or the Wicker Strad?
I can do so from a range of about 120 feet. So once we're 120 feet away, I will start lobbing firebolts at it. Okay. And then as it all catches fire in the middle of the night... Actually, this is brilliant. All the bad guys in the area, the wolves, the zombies, the liches, all the skeletons, the roving packs of ghasts, all these things will be drawn to the burning Strahd, and we can sneak out the back door and reach the vineyard unmolested.
Okay. And that must be what happened, because you do indeed set the Wicker Strad on fire, and it's, Lord Talfrin, you in particular, it brings a tear to your eye, just the sight of all this this burning dry wood all in one place, and you guys make your way down the hill on the path through the trees back to the vineyard. And even though, guys, you're traveling for a number of hours, you've got a few miles to cross before you get back to the Wizard of Wine's winery, you do so unmolested. And in fact, the sort of turrets off the winery, break through the horizon just as the sky begins to get brighter with the onset of morning. So, yes, you've reached the Wizard of Wine's winery. As you make your way down to the winery, you can see that they're already busy working back in the loading bay, and you can see one or two figures out in the fields having a look at the decaying vines in the vineyard, and you see Davian there as he was last time you spoke to him, almost as if he's not left, directing all the bodies at the loading bay and beyond, shouting in a position of authority.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm the one who retrieved the jewels, so I should be the one to get most of the wine. So I will. Yes.
How about a festive or military sort of conquering march tune or something to accompany us as we enter?
No. I go with gravitas, sir. I am today not some foppish musician. I am a conqueror, a man who goes into the darkness and comes back with a jewel of power. And if I start playing my instrument with two hands, you'll take the jewel, you'll give it to him for nothing. And I'm going to see if we can't shake him down just a little bit. I mean, there's nothing wrong with shaking the tree so it falls to the ground.
Sean, I am wounded that you thought I was trying to set up something.
I see through you.
But after all these weeks, I suppose it's only been adventuring together, I am wounded.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. But no, I'm going to be the one to give it to him.
Very well.
Okay.
So, Jean, you make your way up to Davian, and he turns around, and as he sees the gem in your hand, I think it's the first time you've really seen the old man's features break. I mean, there wasn't a particular amount of gratitude the last, when you managed to free his home. He just looks absolute shock and overcome, and his eyes are fixed on the gem, and he walks towards you, his hands getting ready to cradle it, and he says, I just can't believe this. And then his eyes move from the gem to your face, Jean, and he says, You have no idea what you've just done for my family and for the valley itself.
Oh, I think I have a very good idea, actually. I'm perfectly cognizant of what I have done. The question is, what can you do for us? Because I hope you understand, we are serious adventurers, but I cannot operate without provisions, wine, some monetary currency would be nice. And if you have any sort of magical weapons, lying about, any sort of magical daggers, for example, or magical squeeze boxes, they would be much appreciated.
He looks a little bit confused, and he says, "Well, we spoke about giving you money last time, and we had managed to pull together all of the family's remaining wealth and offered to give it to you, but you did refuse it. I'm happy to gather. The 100 gold pieces.
I never refused it.
I didn't refuse it. Lord Talford refused it, and the nun. I wanted it."
We certainly have wine, absolutely, and another season growth, and we have plenty of purple grape mash number 3 to send out to all the taverns of the valley. However, I think we still may have one or two kegs of Red Dragon Crush.
Put together some sort of logistics where we have you ferrying wine to whatever adventuring location we're at. A line of, what is that called? When an army's in the field and they have provisions brought up to the front.
A supply line.
Yes, perhaps we could put into place some sort of wine supply line wherever in Barovia we're at, so they were always refreshed and reminded of your good cheer.
Okay, here's the new deal. We drink for free. Where do we go? We will let you keep your gold, but we drink for free. And you have to give us some sort of, I don't know, badge or token or which we can show any purveyor in the entire land, and they will give us the wine for free.
I like the idea of a big badge. We drink for free.
So Davian thinks for a moment, and he seems a little bit irritated by the request. He scratches his beard, and then he eventually says,
I'm sorry, were you fighting monsters last night? You seem a little bit off about it. I think a little gratitude would be in order.
He eventually says, I cannot speak for all the taverns in Barovia, but as I have already said to you, we give our produce for free to these taverns so that they can supply it to the people of the valley to take their minds off the evil of this place. So what I can do is prepare a writ from the Wizard of Wine's winery requesting that you be given our produce. I cannot guarantee that it will be honoured, especially I believe at least one of the taverns in the village of Barovia is run by the Vistani, and they can often move against requests that we make, but it certainly would be the least I can do. But friend Mallarmé. He puts his hand on your shoulder as he says this. I've been so overcome with the great news that you've brought for my family. I have forgotten that I have news for you as well. If you recall, my daughter, I'd sent her with yourselves as you approached Jester Hill so she could at your request. And when she returned, I thought about what you had said to me, and I sent her over to the Blue Water Inn in Vallaki to make contact with my son after such a long time.
That was my inspiring speech.
No. Don't listen to Lord Talfrin. He's far away.
Obviously, my son and I have a lot of work to do in repairing our bonds with each other. But more importantly, he wanted to speak to you because I believe he knows where your Irina now resides.
Excellent.
Yes.
Flaming steed.
No. All right. So I think we've come to an agreement then. We have this writ that's like an open tab across the land, which I like the sound of, and I will now present you with the jewel.
Oh wait, if he's making the wine,
yes,
he's in league with the Magpie folk at the Blue Water Inn. Can they deliver it by air to us?
You want air-dropped wine?
You want to ask him that?
Yes.
That's ridiculous. Have you seen a magpie? The size of a magpie? Tried lifting this cask of wine. I know you're a strong man, but my goodness, it's even asking a human to carry it over that distance would be ridiculous. But a magpie?
Maybe you could get like 100 of them, and, you know.
There are not that many people in my family.
I apologize for my friend. He's confused, but feel free to fly over him and drop something at any point. I feel that we have come to an agreement. Anyone else arguing with I'm going to give him the jewel now. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Here you are, sir. May you produce more wine.
We will return this to the vineyards, and absolutely we will be growing more grapes. But listen, my son, he told me what his scouts have seen. They have seen not 3 nights ago. Excuse me. Not 3 nights ago, they saw your Irina with a masked figure entering the Abbey of Saint Markovia.
Oh.
Back in the
Abbey of Saint.
Where is the Abbey of Saint Markovia? Is it nearby?
Situated just above the village of Kresik, just north of here, about a day's travel north of here.
That was in the prophecy too.
It was indeed. One who will help you. Graveyards.
Yes, it was.
Misty. Yes, the mists. Stranger wanders this land, pulled from another world by someone else. Doesn't stay anywhere long. St. Markovia's Abbey near the mists. Yeah. That's just from the top of my head.
It's beautiful.
Well, this is good news.
It's only a day away. I say we fly there.
Well, what about Berez?
Berez can wait. Irina cannot.
Well, may I just ask a quick question though? Are we not going to just draw attention to her by flying there and then essentially telling Strahd where she is?
We have to protect her. We cannot leave her.
We are very bad at that.
She no doubt has been terrified and desperate to see us against running away from us.
I think you mean relieved that she is free of...
I can only imagine the glee on her face as we stride into the St. Markovia's Abbey and tell her that once again she is in competent hands and has nothing to fear.
I would certainly feel better if we had the Sword of Sunlight when going to reunite with Irina.
Well, this is not a lot of good options.
Well, the good thing is that if someone is willing to help us, if there's someone who is willing to help us from another world is in the Abbey of St. Markovia, then perhaps reason that Strahd cannot see Irina or doesn't know where she is maybe there's like some kind of protective spell or some kind of protective ward that she is. I mean, I don't know. She was accompanied by someone in like a cape or a hood.
A mask.
A mask. I mean,
I think that McGrag may be correct. I think we need to arm ourselves before. When we find Irina, Strahd will find us, and that will be the end. I just don't think there's any way that we go find Irina, and then what? Then what do? We put her in a suitcase and drag her around the land? We're not going to be able to improve her situation.
But we could make sure that she is actually in safety there, like that she's safe and protected.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble. Like right now, she could be safe and sound, but she surely will be in danger if we go look for her.
And so Davian's listening to this exchange, and he says something else you may want to bear in mind is that the villagers of Krezk are ridiculously insular. I know that you would have come across the gate guards when you were entering Vallaki, but in Krezk they just do not admit anyone from outside the village. There is no back and forth. They basically coexist only within themselves. They will not let anybody past.
Oh, then we will have to enter from within.
Gross.
It's like sneaking.
The only, I suppose, the only, my family do get to gain access just to make deliveries of our wine, but we are watched closely as we do so.
Oh, yes.
Do you have any large barrels that we could fit inside, and you could then smuggle us in, pretending we are a particularly rare?
Yes.
It worked in The Hobbit.
We certainly have plenty of barrels that have not been filled. Yes, plenty of empty barrels. That certainly could be achieved.
Do we really think this is the wisest course of action, though? Like, what is the next step? What is the next step? Will we be any more prepared to face Strahd if we have Irina?
Sean, I hate to have to say this to you. This is awkward, but you're acting very out of character, asking about next steps, what's wise, what's best for the group. I mean, I hardly recognize you, my good man.
Well, look, I here's the thing. I just got a free ticket for lots of booze around the country. If we go straight to Irina, we're all going to die.
So you'd prefer Berez?
Anywhere else.
I believe it's time to take a vote.
Oh, God.
I am going to write out a script for each option, and I'll write out 8 of them. Each of us will then take their relevant script, and we will declaim it to each other, and the conviction with which it is read will then sway the others to change their votes. We all agreed on this plan?
Can't we just raise hands?
Well, yes, Kellic, of course we can. But a moment of such gravitas needs to be dignified by such a ritual, don't you think?
But can't we ask
Sword of sunlight.
Sorry, hang on. Is Irina actually in Krezk? So is this where your magpie folk have seen her?
All we know is it was 3 days ago, though.
Exactly.
The Abbey of Saint Markovia sits above the village, on the cliffs above the village. You would have to. The only way to access it is through the village itself.
Okay. Could you pass on a message if we give a message to Irina to stay where she is and that we're coming for her as fast as we can? Then we could maybe first of all go to Berez and get that sun sword for me. Then we go to Chris.
For me?
I'm a swords woman. What would you do with a sword?
Her name is Master Sun.
Oh, God. I think we should vote him out of the troop. Okay.
I do think it's good that we're all finally showing our true colors.
Yes.
You know, when greed rears its ugly head, that's when adventuring groups are split in two.
Well, at least my half is going to be drunk.
We need every single piece of magical equipment that we can get our hands on.
I agree.
To go against this evil
yes.
creature.
Yes.
And free the land.
And you can have the sword. You will have the sword.
Yes.
I sense some parleying and deal making behind my back.
It's in your face. It's in front of your face. It's not.
Exactly.
This. I'd never thought to witness such conniving, but very well. We have 2 votes for Perez, and what say you, McCragg?
Oh, just to screw things up, I'll just vote for something that's not even an option.
Oh, God.
No, I really think Perez is our best bet right now.
That's 3-1. I concede graciously. I won't make a speech about it, but if anyone wants to hear my thoughts, I will be declaiming over here for the next 5 minutes. And Lord Talfrin goes over to the side of the building to vent his spleen.
Okay. So, is our plan to head towards Perez, wherever this place may be?
Well, can the Magpie folk get a message to Irena?
So Davian says, we will certainly try. The people of Krezek, as I said, are very insular, and with your time here in Barovia, you'll have learned to distrust anything, be it a creature that just looks regular, such as ourselves in our magpie form. So we will try, but if there's any sense of if there's any potential danger, I will not let my people go into the abbey. But we will try to deliver if we can see her out in the gardens or on the ramparts of the abbey walls. Certainly.
Yes, the key word is discretion, because we do not want to out her by just saying hello.
Just if she is there, then tell her that her friends from foreign places are
having a wonderful
looking out
time, yet by not looking for her.
Yes,
certainly.
But and that a certain other friend of hers is also looking for her, so she should stay hidden.
You should probably write some of this down, because I can see how this would be very confusing.
I will have that delivered for you. Now, why don't you go and enjoy some breakfast?
First, there's one last question. Where is Perez? Do you know?
Yes, certainly I do. Do you have a map of the area?
Do we?
Sort of. I've been doodling in my free time.
I
sounds inspiring.
I think we might have to share this doodle. But he looks at your map, Madam Cartographer, and so he makes a mark for you. Now, you might remember as you were travelling from Vallaki to the winery, there were quite a few paths off to the north and south that you guys avoided. Right. So he actually, it's the first southerly path that you walked past after leaving Vallaki, after the Vistani encampment, and it heads down south quite a distance, about the same distance as Yester Hill was from the Sphalic Road, and he marks that with a big X and writes Perez beside it.
So was this, and this was we had a signpost there, I think, where it says to Lake Baratok?
No, Lake Baratok is to the north.
Okay. So this is to the south?
And let's get the location of St. Markovia's Abbey while we're at it.
Well, the Markovia was Krezek is southward, so...
I'm just starting to second guess our decision.
Oh no!
After reviewing my barbaric scrawl where I had written the prophecies.
I think Master Sonna, if you were writing I'm sure Master Sonna would actually have been writing the names down as you walk past. The signpost did actually say Perez to the southeast, but obviously at that point you didn't know what Perez was. So Perez is actually on the broken signpost, if you recall.
Yes,
you were freaking out about the fact that it was.
Because I was dead.
You were investigating. Yes. Okay, McGrag, we'll be very clear. What are the second thoughts about? Is it?
The thing is that the prophecy about the Abbey,
yes,
specifically mentions someone who will help us, whereas the prophecy of Tower, it mentioned that it was ruled by someone who has brought evil to the world, and Baba Lysaga was described earlier as the twin great evil of Barovia.
So you're saying that if we go to the Abbey, we might get a magical weapon like a dagger?
We might get someone to help us.
Hold on. You're just saying this is all just hitting you now after our entire conversation? I mean...
No, he overheard what you were doing against the wall with your spleen.
So I've been contemplating my blood spear a lot, and maybe that's clouded my thinking a little bit.
There are children here.
Guys, we're even Davian, as gracious as he is to you for reigniting the magic of his family's home, is getting a wee bit tired of this discussion. So let's. So you guys
good at discussing things.
You guys had decided to go to Berez. Is that where you're going?
That was
or is
before. The Kellen scared me now. I don't know. Okay, all right, yes.
No, we're going to Berez.
Okay. Well, that's one person said that.
Let's vote again. Let's vote again.
No. We're not voting.
Where the hell are we going?
Okay.
Gentlemen.
We're going to Berez.
We're going to take another vote.
And we're going to
Berez.
We're taking another vote.
And we're going to go up against Baba Lysaga.
Oh my god. Lord Balforin runs off in the direction of Berez.
Fare thee well!
I had to say, we should just trust our instincts. We all, voted. We thought Berez. Look at him run. I mean, he feels good about the decision. Let's just go. Look, you only die once. Let's do it.
I think Master Talfrin's pretty slow. We could catch him. We can sit here and talk for another 10 minutes, and we'll catch him in another 5.
Oh. He'll be wheezing.
I love adventuring with you guys.
So okay.
We're so coordinated and organized.
Let's just stay the course. We'll stay the course. There's no reason to make this any harder than it already is. There's not a good decision. We're going to go fight the Baba and give her what for.
Crit Faced is a weekly Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, and to get an exclusive prequel episode of the podcast, where you can find out what our characters were up to before this adventure began, head over to critfacedpodcasts.com and join our Crit Faced fan group.